protested that he'd never say anything so corny in real life. But the council had insisted catchphrases increased morale, and so what could he do? Whatever gave these poor people hope, he supposed, though if the fate of the known world really was relying on catchphrases, the world was totally screwed. He pulled his transcriber from his belt, running his fingers across the smooth side. A hologram popped up, and an image of his friend and fellow dragon hunter Troy looked back at him, his face pale. "Jax," he cried in a hoarse voice. "Where are you? Are you anywhere near Subterra A? Damien up at the watchtower counted 5 headed your way, and we're all stuck over at E, working the peace rally you bailed on. We're headed back now, but we won't be there in time." Troy scowled, and Connor couldn't help but remember his friend's catchphrase. "You feeling lucky, Dragon Punk?" "The council is recommending nukes." Connor cringed. Of course they were. He pressed the record button to send a reply to his fellow soldier. "Tell them to stand down," he barked. "I'm not far. I'll handle it." He sent the message, then reattached the transcriber to his belt. Brushing his hair from his eyes, he exited the home and stepped back into the hallway. The once crowded passage was eerily vacant now, with all the people of Strata C hopefully safe and sound in the flame shelters below, waiting for him to get the job done so they could get back to their everyday lives. Connor ran down the hallway, his footsteps pounding to the rhythm of the flashing red lights as he made his way to the surface Vader that would take him where he needed to go. But as he took a corner too quickly, he found himself nearly tripping over something on the floor. He looked down. Make that someone. The little girl couldn't have been much older than 6, and her grubby face was stained with tears as she sucked on the end of a messy pigtail. She looked up at Connor with wide, awestruck eyes. "Are you one of them?" she asked in a tiny voice. "Are you a dragon hunter?" Suddenly, her fear seemed forgotten as she rummaged through her filthy backpack, pulling out a trading card-size version of the poster Connor had seen in the house. She studied it for a moment, then looked back up at him. "It is you!" she cried excitedly. "Can you sign my card?" "Where's your family?" Connor demanded. He needed to get moving, but he couldn't rightly leave the girl out here, exposed and unprotected, and alone. These quarters weren't far from the surface lands, and could go up quickly if the dragons weren't stopped. Or worse, if the council did pull out the nukes. The girl dropped her hand, looking dejected. "We got separated, and then they closed the Vaders," she warbled in a thin voice. "They wouldn't let me down." "What?" Connor frowned. This was, of course, completely against protocol. The Vader operators were supposed to do a complete head count before closing down to make sure everyone in the strata was accounted for. But that didn't mean it always happened, especially during a major panic like this one had been. "What's your name?" he asked. "Sala," the girl whispered. "My name is Sala, and I'm scared." She stuck a grubby thumb into her mouth. "Okay, Sala, I'm going to get you to a shelter." Connor scooped the girl into his arms, then switched directions, once again traversing the empty hall with as much speed as he could manage. Thankfully, the girl was a light load. He grabbed his transcriber with his free hand, pushing on it to call Damien above. "I'll be there in a second," he told the watcher. "Hurry," Damien's voice crackled back. "It's bad up here." "It's bad down here, too." They reached the Vader, and Connor lowered Sala to her feet so he could rummage for his keycard to summon it. Soon, the two of them were shooting down into the earth below. When they reached floor -23, containing the last